Here's what nobody tells you about hitting bottom. It's not the falling that destroys you, it's the staying down. You wake up surrounded by empty energy drink cans, your phone at 2% battery from doom scrolling until 4 a.m., and you can't remember the last time you did something that actually mattered. Every morning starts with that same hollow feeling in your chest, like you're watching your own life slip away through a screen. And before we dive into how to actually fix this, if you're serious about changing your life, hit that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to share goes against everything the self-improvement industry has been selling you. The truth is, you're not lazy. You're not broken. Your brain has just been hijacked by a world designed to keep you numb and scrolling. In 2026, we're living in the most overstimulated era in human history, and your dopamine system is paying the price. But here's the uncomfortable reality. Those viral dopamine detox trends everyone's pushing, they're based on junk neuroscience, and neuroscientists warn that the whole premise is built on a fundamental misunderstanding of how the brain actually works. What you actually need isn't another extreme cleanse that makes you feel guilty about enjoying life. You need a system that works with your brain, not against it. The real reason you're stuck. Let's talk about what's actually happening inside your skull. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical that popular culture makes it out to be. It's your brain's prediction and motivation system, constantly active even during mundane activities. When people say they're addicted to their phones, what they're really talking about is the overstimulation of reward pathways by certain activities, not an excess of dopamine itself. Your brain is sophisticated enough to handle pleasure. What it can't handle is the constant barrage of notifications, infinite scroll feeds, and algorithmic manipulation designed by teams of engineers to keep you hooked. And here's where it gets interesting. Your messy room, those piles of dirty clothes, the dishes stacked in the sink, they're not the problem. They're the symptom. Your environment is a mirror reflecting your internal state. When your mental space is chaotic, cluttered with anxiety and unfocused energy, your physical space follows suit. But here's the paradox. Cleaning isn't about being neat or organized. It's about taking back control of the one domain where you have immediate power. The real culprit behind what people call dopamine dysfunction is often lifestyle factors like poor sleep, lack of physical activity, social isolation, or chronic stress. These issues affect how your brain processes rewards and motivation, and they can't be fixed by temporarily avoiding enjoyable activities. When you start cleaning your space, you're not just tidying up. You're sending a signal to your brain that you're someone who deserves care. You're building evidence that you can follow through on commitments to yourself. That matters more than having a spotless room. The identity crisis. Nobody mentions most people wandering through life like zombies aren't lazy. They're directionless. In 2026, self-improvement isn't just a trend. It's a lifestyle choice that resonates deeply with people seeking purpose and meaning. But here's what the gurus won't tell you. Having goals isn't enough. You can write down 50 goals and still feel empty because goals are destinations. But identity is who you become along the journey. Think about it. Right now, you probably have an identity that includes phrases like, I'm the type of person who procrastinates, or I'm not a morning person, or I'm bad at staying consistent. These aren't facts about you. They're stories you've been telling yourself so long that they feel true. And every time you repeat these stories, you reinforce the neural pathways that make them your reality. Here's the framework that actually works. First, stop chasing the perfect version of yourself. In 2026, personal growth is about becoming a truer version of yourself rather than perfect, emphasizing purpose and peace over endless productivity hacks. Write down the person you want to be in detail, not their accomplishments, but their daily habits, their mindset, how they treat themselves when nobody's watching. What does this person do when they don't feel like doing anything? How do they talk to themselves after a mistake? Second, pick 2 goals maximum, not 10, not 5. 2. Why? Because your brain can't prioritize everything. When everything is important, nothing is important. Choose 2 areas where progress would genuinely transform your life. Maybe it's your physical health and learning a high-income skill, or building better relationships and getting your finances in order. Write these down, stick them somewhere you'll see them daily, and let everything else fade into the background for now. The small win strategy that actually works. Here's where most people self-sabotage. They get inspired, write down their new identity and goals, then immediately try to become a different person overnight. They set an alarm for 5 a.m., plan to hit the gym, meal prep, read for an hour, meditate, journal, and work on their side hustle all before work. By day 3, they're burnout and back to square one, convinced they just don't have what it takes. But that's not how your brain works. Your brain is designed to resist massive change because change is scary and potentially dangerous. It wants to keep you safe in your comfortable patterns, even if those patterns are slowly destroying you. So instead of fighting your brain's natural resistance, you're going to use it. The next small habit framework is simple. Identify one tiny behavior you can build that moves you toward your new identity. If you want to become someone who exercises regularly, don't commit to an hour at the gym. Commit to putting on your workout clothes. That's it. If you want to become someone who reads, don't commit to a book a week. Commit to reading one page before bed. These micro habits sound almost laughably small, and that's exactly why they work. In 2026, AI-powered tools are helping people set realistic goals and create life strategies that work with their natural patterns, offering personalized guidance that grows with you. Your brain doesn't resist small changes. It barely notices them. But here's what happens. Once you're in your workout clothes, you'll probably exercise. Once you read one page, you'll probably read 5 more. The hardest part isn't doing the thing, it's starting. Once you've started building 1 or 2 micro habits consistently, you add the next one, then the next. Layer by layer, you're becoming someone different. Time architecture for an overstimulated brain. Decision fatigue is silently destroying your potential every single day. Every time you wonder, should I start that project or scroll Instagram? Your brain burns energy making that decision. And here's the cruel part. The more decisions you make, the worse your decision-making becomes. By evening, your willpower is depleted, which is exactly when you're most vulnerable to falling back into your old patterns. Structure isn't about becoming rigid or losing spontaneity. It's about building a scaffolding that supports your goals so you don't have to rely on motivation or willpower. Tech integration is a prevailing trend in personal development, with apps and virtual services leveraging technology to enhance accessibility and effectiveness. But you don't need a complicated system. Start with the 3-task rule. Every evening, write down 3 specific tasks that would move you closer to your goals. Not vague intentions like work on project, concrete actions like write 500 words of outline or research 3 potential clients. Here's the key. These tasks should be challenging enough to matter, but achievable enough that you can actually complete them. The act of checking off completed tasks triggers a genuine dopamine release, the healthy kind that builds momentum. Each completion is evidence that you're becoming the person you said you wanted to be. That evidence compounds. As you build trust with yourself through consistency, you can gradually structure more of your day. But start small. 3 meaningful tasks beat an overwhelming schedule you'll abandon by noon. Movement as medicine. If there was a pill that could improve your mental clarity, extend your lifespan, boost your energy, elevate your mood, improve your sleep, and make you more physically attractive, people would pay thousands for it. That pill exists. It's called moving your body, and most people are choosing not to take it. Your body was engineered over millions of years of evolution to move. Our ancestors walked miles every day, climbed, lifted, ran. Your body expects this. When you're sedentary, your body doesn't just get weaker, your brain chemistry shifts. Exercise affects how your brain processes rewards and motivation, with profound effects on your dopamine regulation. Physical movement isn't optional self-care. It's foundational maintenance for your mental health. And here's what makes it even better in 2026. There's a growing trend of products and services that bring elite athlete performance metrics and expertise to everyday consumers, making high-performance lifestyle accessible. You don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment. You need to get your heart rate up regularly. That could mean 20 minutes of bodyweight exercises in your living room, a brisk walk where you actually break a sweat, dancing like nobody's watching. Your body doesn't care if it's Instagram worthy. It just needs to move. Make this non-negotiable. Just like brushing your teeth isn't optional, movement isn't optional. Build it into your daily structure. Treat it like the mental health medication it actually is. Discipline when motivation dies. Here's the moment that separates people who transform their lives from people who stay stuck. What you do when you don't feel like doing it. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you'll wake up fired up and ready to conquer the world. Other days you'll wake up wanting to pull the covers over your head and disappear. The tasks you set for yourself won't get easier. In fact, as you progress, they'll often get harder and more complex. There will be mornings when your bed feels like the safest place in the universe. There will be evenings when every cell in your body screams to just scroll TikTok instead of working on that project. This is where most people break. They lose momentum, miss a day, then a week, then slip completely back into their old patterns. Discipline is doing it anyway. Not because you feel inspired, not because you're motivated, but because you committed to becoming a different person, and that person does what they said they would do. Every time you follow through when you don't want to, you're making a deposit in your self-trust account. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, especially a small one that nobody else would notice, you're building unshakable confidence. This is the compound effect of self-trust. When you trust yourself to follow through, you become more willing to set bigger goals. You become less afraid of failure because you know you'll keep trying. You become someone who doesn't need external validation because you're living in integrity with your own commitments. In 2026, AI tools offer ongoing support and regular check-ins to help refine your vision as life evolves. But the real transformation happens in those quiet moments when nobody's watching and you choose to show up anyway. The consistency paradox. Final truth. Your journey will not be linear. You will have incredible weeks where everything clicks and you feel unstoppable. You will have crushing weeks where you fall back into old habits and question whether any of this matters. You will make progress, then plateau, then make progress again. This isn't a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're human. The tools and trends of 2026 reflect that growth is a lifelong process with no finish line, offering ongoing support and ways to refine your vision as life evolves. The old habits will creep back sometimes. You'll have days where you break your streak. You'll have moments where you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. That's normal. That's part of the process. Here's what matters. As long as you keep moving forward, as long as you stay consistent with trying, you always have a chance at success. You're only truly failing if you stop trying completely. Every day you wake up and make another attempt. That's success. Every time you fall off track and climb back on, that's success. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up again after you mess up. And here's something they won't tell you in those hustle culture videos. You're in control of this life, not your circumstances, not your past, not what happened to you. You're in control of what you do next. People can support you. People can give you tools and strategies. But if you don't act, nothing changes. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan, you'll be waiting forever. Conclusion. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a rough draft. This is it. You can spend it scrolling through other people's highlight reels, numbing yourself with endless content, wondering why you feel empty. Or you can decide that today is the day you start building something real, something that matters, something that's yours. The path forward isn't about massive transformation overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that compound over time. Clean your space, define your identity, build micro habits, structure your days, move your body, follow through when you don't want to, stay consistent even when it's hard. Nobody's coming to save you. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need saving. You need action. And action is something you can take right now, in this moment, no matter what happened yesterday or last year or 10 years ago. The person you want to become is already inside you, waiting for you to make the choice. So make it. Start today. Start now. Your future self is watching, and they're counting on you to take the first step.